Hello students and welcome back to Multicultural Education, EDUC 2245. This week we investigate the concept of ethnicity, seeking to understand our own ethnic identity as educators in the American public school system, as well as the ethnic identities of our students and how we can utilize these to understand, build rapport, and become better teachers and students all around. We begin with a definition. I'm going to take you through this Prezi. You, of course, can click around anywhere else you'd like to go in the Prezi after this. But the definition's pretty straightforward. And what I really need you to understand is, with this definition, that ethnicity is not the same as race. Ethnicity and race are two separate things. Ethnicity is a community of people within a larger society that's socially distinguished or set apart from others. Racial or cultural characteristics such as religion, language, and tradition, but ethnicity and race are not the same thing. This is very important that you understand that. This is, of course, one of my favorite quotes. I'm pretty sure I've shared it with you before. And the quote itself, as you read it, should really speak to you and hopefully help you to understand your role in the classroom. Even as a teacher, you wake up in a different world. You come to that school, you enter that school community and join with your students, and you all face different challenges. And as an educator, as a teacher, it's on you to understand how best to mitigate and address and provide equitable experiences for all of your students. Because yes, based on skin color or ethnicity, students experience the world in drastically different ways than you do. So I've got a couple of videos for you to watch here. I'm not going to stop on them in my video here, but I want you to consider them about stereotypes and bias. And I've got a couple of Ohio University posters that they've been putting up for the last couple of years to combat the prejudicial costumes that you see every Halloween. What some would consider to be harmless fun is in fact stereotyping and generalizing an entire group or groups of people. And so assumptions, stereotypes, and bias. I'm going to click right through stereotype threats, self-examination, and stereotypes and white privilege. You want to take some time to look at each of these posters and see if you can understand the message they're trying to convey. Some further definitions for you as it relates to ethnic group, race, and culture. Of course, if you'll recall in your autobiography, you do need to define these terms, and you need to be able to explain and express these terms as they relate to you as a teacher, as well as the larger society. Remember, we're looking at this at a macro level, an institutional, as well as an individual level. How has your ethnic identity developed? What is your ethnic identity? Can you identify it? This is something for you to address in your autobiography. And I have for you an example of an identity development from Mole. And here it is. 4 stages. I'm okay and you're okay. This is the pre-exposure. This is where you've never thought of, nor do you have maybe reason to think of multicultural issues. It's not a part of your world. This is where many people exist. They are in this colorblind situation where they believe that you can ignore race. We've dealt with that concept already, but it is something that you may address and write about in your autobiography. After that stage, the stage, something is not okay. You have an exposure experience. I liken that to this class. This class, this introduction to multicultural education is sometimes and very often the one area where you realize there's something not right. You begin to question the reality that is, and you begin to understand that your skin color or your ethnic identity, either the reality or the perception of, or your gender or your sexual orientation, changes the way you experience society. And so you begin to question because of that exposure. Now the next step is crucial because it's the I'm okay, I'm not so sure about you. And you can go in 2 directions here. You can become a zealot or you can become defensive. And the danger exists on both sides. The zealot can become paternalistic. Listen to me, I know the way, I know how to do it, I can save everybody, I am the Savior. Versus the passive recipient's perspective, where they become reluctant to engage. They withdraw, they step away, and they continue to ignore it. And so there's these two directions you can go. But the way we need to do is, I'm okay, so do as I say. No, we don't want to do that. I'm okay, change is too much trouble. No. I'm okay, you're invisible. We don't want that. We have to strike that middle ground. We want to say, yes, there's something wrong, and we need to work forward to something better, but we cannot become defensive. And we want to try and get to I'm okay, you're okay, and we're going to be okay. Some type of integration. And the way I look at this is that you're open to new ideas, you're ready to work for change, and you're doing something about it in your classroom. You find a balance. You find a way to step away from the defensive, put up your dukes mentality. You begin to respect and appreciate cultural differences and cultural diversity, which, if you'll recall, is one of our standards in the Bennett framework. Now, the reason I like this is because you can apply this identity development to race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation. It's able to be used in multiple situations. And so what stage are you in, and how do you know? This is something for you to write about in your autobiography. What stage of identity development are you? Have you developed an understanding of your white ethnic identity? And then beyond your own ethnic identity, what do you know about others? And so I've got some Prezi boxes for you. These are all pan-ethnic identities, pan-ethnic groups, meaning they gather multiple ethnic identities under a general title. Latino, Latina, Arab or Muslim Americans, Asian Americans or Native Americans. These pan-ethnic titles that group and overgeneralize people into one area. And so your collaborative assignment this week, that's due next week, is for you to actually build these Prezi boxes yourselves. And you'll see this in the learning module. And so for each one of these, I have a collection. There's a video you could click on and watch if you wanted to. You can zoom in on this older poster. When this is how the world sees you, it's just not funny. And you can also click in on here. These are links that you may find very useful for your collaborative assignment this week and next week. And so I have information for you to consider and utilize as you build your pan-ethnic Prezi identity boxes. Asian Americans, same thing. Video, links, and some more posters. Arab Muslim Americans, similar, same things. One of my favorite videos I found over the years, right here. And Native Americans, another really good video clip. This is about how Native Americans have been treated in the movies. Now, I encourage you to look and take time to watch these videos at some point and to look over these links, because you will need them when it comes to the collaborative assignment this week. But what experiences can you write about that you've had with those who are of Latino or Latina American or Asian American descent? Same question, but for Native American or Arab and Muslim American. What do you know, and how do you know? What do you understand? And so now you can continue to the rest of the learning module. Now that you've listened to me ramble on and prattle on for about 10 minutes, almost, you can go and you can view the rest of the module. I'll note down here you have some more information that you might find useful. I'm not going to put it in the Prezi. There's a video on privilege and considerations. But what you should do now is go to the rest of the learning module and complete your assignments for the week. Thank you.